You're
good, y'all. It's your boy King Punisher back again to play Henchman's story and hopefully finish it tonight. If not, then I don't know what else to say. Let's quickly get into it. Hopefully this is the last issue / last chapter / last episode / whatever this game. Again, not to say that the game is bad. It's just mid, I guess. Why am I playing it? I bought it, spent money on it, gotta finish it. You gotta finish the things you start. And I started this, I'm gonna finish it. So let's get into that right now. I adjust the sleeves of my new uniform as I make my way down the hall. It fit perfectly when I tried it on last night, but this morning I noticed that the forearms were a little heavier than usual. Extra protection, probably. No surprise that Scorpion could score me the good stuff. Add that to the list of perks, I guess. Makes it harder to complain about how early this meeting is. That's how you know she's a real supervillain. Only someone truly twisted would schedule a big meeting right at the start of a workday. What a monster. Sounds like corporate America. How dare those bastards do that? Yet despite the early hour, I find the door to her office guarded by a small contingent of henchmen. After a moment of confusion, I realize they're all squad supervisors, including Dave. Oh god. I see him bristle at my approach, but don't let it faze me. I have no reason to worry about his opinion anymore, no matter how many passive-aggressive reports he writes. Not only did I kick his ass and get away with it, he had to actually apologize for it. So I dominated him. I was the alpha, and now he has to deal with it. I admit, I relish how much that must have stung.
If you have business with Madam Scorpion, you'll have to wait. Lord Bedlam has a meeting scheduled with her.
I know he does. I'm in the meeting, so stand aside.
You're in the meeting? How's that? That can't be right. I was willing to apologize, but I'm still your supervisor.
You're really not.
You can't just make things up like that.
Bro can't fathom that I'm at a higher stage now.
You don't have to believe me. We can always go ask Madam Scorpion herself. I'm sure she'd understand the delay if you just told her you were my supervisor.
You can't let him through.
At Dave's request, the crowd of supervisors parts, granting me a path to the door. I can't help but throw in a little swagger, shooting one last smug look at Dave over my shoulder as I stride past him. Man, I can't believe I got to pull a stand aside. This rules. My boy Stan is walking with that swagger now. He clapped Scorpion's cheeks and now he's just big man on campus. That's the power she's giving him. See, if I would have gone with homegirl, what was her face? Kate, shining over, whatever. He would have just been a simp, just living a normal life like the rest of us. But nah, my boy's living the dream right now.
Appreciate it, buddy. Don't worry. I'll be sure to put in a good word for you.
As the door opens, I take a deep breath and stand up straight. For once, feeling no hint of nerves as I step inside. That's what I'm talking, my boy. Got some self-confidence now. I like the progress. That's one thing I'll say. I like the character development. Mostly because it's my choices. Because come on. You gotta make the right choices for my man Stan the man. I enter to find Lord Bedlam's gesturing wildly at the map on Scorpion's wall, so engrossed that he doesn't notice that my presence until the door closes behind me.
Number 065. I'm afraid you have the wrong room. The madam and I were just...
Hey, yo, cut that 065 shit. You know my name now. My name is Stan the man. Alright?
We were just about to transition to matters of strategy, so don't worry, Stanley. You're right on time.
On time? So he is... I'm sorry, I think you invited the wrong henchman. Number 065 here is...
I'm not the sort who adds the wrong person to a meeting or accidentally hits reply all on an email. Stanley is here at my specific invitation.
And put some respect on my name, bro. It's not 065, it's Stan.
You see, he's to be the new Henchman liaison for your organization. Therefore, he will be responsible for all Henchman contractors during this little incursion, and for the foreseeable future afterwards.
There's perks to sleeping with your boss, that's for sure. My eyes widened in surprise, but I quickly suppressed any objections. So that's how she's covering it. I was wondering how we were supposed to play off her new favoritism. This way I can openly interact with her at any time, with no one even getting a hint about the true nature of my assignment. And now let's just keep a lid on our other assignment. That is, if Scorpion even cares about subtlety on that front, which she probably doesn't, based on our last encounter. Not when she took advantage of you in the shower.
He's what? I mean, due to recent events, these contractors of yours make up nearly half my workforce. Are you certain that number 065 here can handle it?
Quite certain. I've handpicked him for the job, as is my right. It says so right in our contract. You did read the contract, didn't you, Lord Bedlam?
Well, yes, but I didn't think. I mean, shouldn't we have one of my supervisors in charge? They're experienced, you know.
Hey, yo, screw your supervisors, bro.
No, my decision on this matter is final. I've thought this through very carefully. Stanley is perfectly equipped for the job.
Perfectly equipped. With a lot of equipment, I'm packing heat.
Speaking of, how are you finding that uniform, Stanley? Are the new features to your liking?
It's pretty comfortable, actually. Thanks. But, what new features are you talking about?
You didn't find them? Good. The integration is meant to be subtle. Look for a switch on your right forearm.
I shoot the supervillain a puzzled look, but follow her instructions nonetheless. Better be careful in putting my hand away from her face.
I think I found it. This thing here?
Holy shit!
To my dismay, a red blade of energy shoots out of my wrist, identical to Madame Scorpion's sword in everything but length. Compared to hers, mine is more of a short sword, but it looks no less sinister.
What? You gave him energy sword hands? I've been trying to get those for years!
Nice.
Yes, well, as the Henchman liaison, Stanley needs to represent the Scorpion group as well as yourself. So while his uniform may bear your colors and sigil, in battle he'll carry my blade. Seems fair, don't you think?
Seems more than fair to me. Hot damn. But wait, what if I obscured myself with this thing?
Well then, you wouldn't be worthy of it, would you? Any fool who would accidentally impale themselves with that weapon would be certain to lose their fingers within a week, even with a warning.
I gulp as I examine the vibrant red blade, holding it up to the light. Yeah, I'd have preferred something not attached to my arm, personally, but I guess she didn't want to risk anyone else getting a hold of it. Damn thing will probably self-destruct if I'm killed or captured. I shake my head and turn off the blade. I shoot Scorpion a sly look and she offers a wink in return. I know I've gotten this upgrade regardless, but it still feels like she's marking her territory.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll do my best to put it to use.
I have no doubt. Speaking of, let's dispense with the small talk and get down to business, shall we?
The supervillain holds up the distress beacon I got from Nova yesterday.
Now then, by activating this beacon, we can draw in shining novas back up to a location of our choosing. Once we do, we can pin them down and eliminate them. And in doing so, eliminate any threat to this fortress. How much backup she has exactly is uncertain. Her abundance of caution could mean that it is no more than 1 or 2 for most trusted colleagues. However, we can be certain of one thing. No matter how many arrive, that petulant child, Miss Dynamo, will be among them. Knowing this, and given the beacon's need for a clear signal, where would you two suggest for an ambush? You know the terrain better than I.
The forest to limit damage, the hangar, it's enclosed. I defer to Lord Bedlam.
How about the forest? If this is going to be a big fight, there'll be a lot of collateral damage, and the repair fees on this place can be a bitch. Right, boss?
Right you are, number 065. Repairs can indeed be a burdensome bitch. See, this is why you're a valued, only partially disposable member of the Bedlam family.
And that's your problem, that's why I switched sides.
You're both thinking too small. The Scorpion Group has plenty of liquid capital. Repair costs are a temporary inconvenience.
Oh, my bad, Sugar Mama.
But it's more than just a cost, madam. It's a matter of pride, of principle. This lair is the heart of the Bedlam organization. And I just had the tiling redone in the executive bathroom.
Not the executive bathroom.
I apologize, madam. You know I have been more than accommodating, but I feel strongly on this matter. It is my lair, and as your partner, I must be heard. I won't be muscled out like like I would never want you to be were you in my position. You understand. You do understand, yes?
I glanced between the supervillains and scooched back just a hair, safely out of the collateral damage danger zone. Lord Bellum is really pushing his luck. What is up with this author saying just a hair a lot? Like, she's a hair away from me, or I'm backing up a hair, or whatever. I've never seen somebody ever use that, ever, in fiction. But hey.
Yes, I understand you. I understand you quite well. But I will grant your request anyway, as a token of good faith. After all, you are correct. We are partners, are we not?
Why, yes, of course. We most certainly are. Now then, perhaps we should move on to the logistics of deployment. First, of course, we'll need a squad to manage the refreshments.
From there, the meeting really takes a turn for the boring, diving into the weeds of what squad will go where, the chain of command, all that crap. I don't feel like I have much to add, but Scorpion continues to ask my opinion. It's not something I'm used to around here, and clearly Lord Bellum isn't used to it either. Yet if he has any more complaints about my involvement, he keeps them to himself, though I do notice that he's only been referring to me by my Henchman ID number. He did forget my name earlier, but I wonder.
Well, I think that just about wraps everything up. I'll go confer with my supervisors to get everything ready for the afternoon. Oh, and I'll ask our chef about those pigs in a blanket.
That truly won't be necessary.
But I insist. Oh, and I'll have my cell, so do call if anything requires my attention. You, will call, yes?
For the 1000th time, yes. I will call you if I require you.
Good.
Nodding to himself, Lord Bellum heads for the door. As he leaves, Scorpion holds up a hand in my direction so I don't move to follow. Even after the door closes, we can hear Lord Bellum bellowing and blustering to the squad supervisors. Only when that has faded does Madame Scorpion lower her hand.
Oh, Henchman liaison, huh? Pretty clever. All of this is making sense now. You send him on an operation that depletes his manpower, replace his losses with contractors from your app, and put your inside man in charge. Hostile takeover in less than a week. You're ruthless.
I do so love the way you say that. But I may need to be more hostile than that. He's tugging a bit too hard on his leash for my liking. That's why I relented on the location of the battlefield, to give him more rope, as it were, whether he hangs himself with it or not. Well, we'll see, won't we? I've added a few security measures to the supercomputer just in case.
Why not stop him now? If he does, who replaces him? Uses the computer, how?
And if he does, who would replace him? I mean, I'd be flattered, but...
No. That would rather defeat the point of this whole affair, especially so soon after you've become Henchman liaison. Whoever runs this little outfit must remain a step removed from myself. The goal is to control it while maintaining the appearance of autonomy. Honestly, his exact replacement is immaterial if it comes to that, so long as I have you as my asset. So don't you concern yourself with that blustering buffoon, Stanley. You just focus on your new duties. I expect you to be the picturesque representation of what Henchman is capable of.
Picturesque? That's poetic for you. Should I start expecting limericks with my performance reviews?
As if you're any judge of poetry. I know how you fared as an undergraduate. You're hardly a Tennyson or Levi.
Oh, so you've been creeping on me, huh? Don't judge my scrapbook profile. I haven't updated it in years.
Scrapbook?
As if that would stop me. Nothing on the internet is truly deleted. You ought to know better. There's countless archives and caches that I could dive into, if I chose.
We need some boundaries. Guess I'm on your mind. Why not just ask me? Guess I'm on your mind.
Guess I'm really on your mind, for you to go through all that trouble.
And you're so sure that it's in a good way?
I have some pretty strong evidence for it, yeah.
Do you now?
She taps a fingernail against her lower lip as if contemplating something devious, and then slides away from her desk, slinking closer with each step. Ah, shit, time to clap cheeks again.
And what's been on your mind, Stanley? Anything in particular?
Oh, this and that. Had a really productive meeting yesterday. Kind of a weird location, though.
And you're hoping this meeting can be just as productive, are you? Well,
She stops just in front of me, maybe a step away, as she reaches out her hand and taps my chest with 2 fingers. I stumble back a step. Should have expected that.
too bad. Don't be overeager, Stanley. Remember, I set the terms here. Besides, today we're far too busy. I'm all for mixing business and pleasure, but this is something of a pivotal juncture. Let's not allow ourselves to get distracted.
Hey, no promises. But I'll do my damnedest.
I'm sure you will. Now then, we'd better move along. You have some new subordinates to see to, and I have a few final arrangements to make. We'll spring the trap at 2 p.m. sharp. Have the contractors assembled at the main gate an hour before then.
Doing this in broad daylight just feels wrong.
Sure thing. I'll get on.
The supervillain nods and turns back to her desk, expecting me to go. But I linger for just a moment, watching her as she studies a series of charts that I can't begin to comprehend. As poised and statuesque as ever. Never a single hair out of place.
Is there something else you need, Stanley?
No, ma'am. Just taking a moment. I'll see you at 2.
I don't bother hiding the whistle I make as I exit the office, and I hear a low, amused laugh in reply. If someone like her sees something in me, then this really is just the beginning. Aw, Stanley. You poor simp. I glance over my shoulder at the motley crew of contract henchmen that are now under my supervision, all doing their best to stay hidden among the undergrowth. The uniforms make that basically impossible, of course, on top of not being the right size for at least half the people wearing them. I guess there's no point in tailoring them for temporary henchmen. I turn to my right, where Madame Scorpion is fiddling with a knob on the hilt of her sword. She messed with that before, during the side gig on Friday night. I think she mentioned something about frequency. Wonder what it means.
Okay, all the henchman squads are in position. For all the good it'll do them.
Excellent. Then the stage is nearly set. We're simply waiting on...
Let the very trees of this forest quake with fear, for they now give shade to the world's most sinister outdoorsman, Lord Bedlam!
The world's most sinister outdoorsman. Okay. Several scores do indeed flee in terror as Lord Bedlam stomps his way through the forest, much to his delight.
Yes, these fuzzy rats have the right idea. Tremble and flee before me! Bah ha 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 ha!
What a bozo.
You're late, Lord Bedlam. And very, very loud. I believe we discussed avoiding both of these qualities.
Well, my tardiness couldn't be helped. I had to make sure we had those pigs in a blanket ready after all. Feel free to help yourself to one, by the way. Chef Antonio outdid himself.
I look over his shoulder to find not one but 4 henchmen carrying trays piled high with the aforementioned hors d'oeuvres. I didn't think he'd actually do it. I wonder if Madame Scorpion would judge me if I had one. Who brings that to a ambush?
Please tell me you at least brought your henchmen as well.
Why, yes, of course. Da Vinci, are all our squads accounted for?
Da Vinci.
Yes, sir, Lord Bedlam. Every squad has been given a mandatory pep talk and is in position.
Splendid! Now then, I'd better go inspect our formations. Can't be too careful about those formations, you know. Come along now, Declan.
Right away, sir!
Dave, of course, glares in my direction before turning to follow his villainous master. But there's something smug about it this time. What are they up to? I turn towards Madame Scorpion, but she's already holding up a hand in my direction.
Let him tie his own noose if he so desires. There are plenty of trees for him to swing from. Just focus on the task at hand, and make sure that all our contractors have their phones on, would you?
For coordination, does that boost your power? Let me deal with Bedlam.
Does that boost your power or something?
Not exactly. It's not a matter of adding more processing power to the equation. More like smoothing out the lines of communication, so to speak.
So what? You use them as hotspots to help your connection to the network or something? Like you're mooching off of someone's Wi-Fi?
Not quite. But that's probably as close as you're going to get by guessing. It's more about the flow of data. All you need to know is that the more phones with Henchman installed there are around me, the more information I can safely process. Let's leave it at that.
I nod and furrow my brow. Safely. I suppose there's probably some strain in dumping a whole bunch of data into your brain constantly, but I haven't given it much thought until now.
Just get those phones on and keep them that way. I'll handle the rest.
I shrug, but follow the supervillain's order nonetheless. As word travels through the battalion of henchmen, I see a few take out their phones, though plenty already had them on. With that taken care of, Madam Scorpion pulls Shining Nova's distress beacon out from her pocket.
Well then, let's cross the Rubicon, shall we?
And with that, Madam Scorpion literally casts the beacon out into a clearing before us, where it pulses with a faint red glow.
A little melodramatic, don't you think, Caesar?
Not at all. This is the dawn of a new age, Stanley. Whether the world knows it or not.
Maybe she's right, but for now, the new age seems an awful lot like the last one. Minutes pass, and the only action the forest sees is the occasional cough and uniform adjustment. Where the hell is this backup? Did Nova give us a dud? And for that matter, where did Lord Bellum go? Damn it, I don't like this.
Hey, boss, when should we...
I frantically look around for Madam Scorpion, but don't find even a hint of black or red anywhere. Ah, crap, have I just been played? Oh, that would be crazy. That would be so crazy. That would be a plot twist. I'll be so sad for my boy Stan. Just as I make that realization, something careens down from the clouds at breakneck speed, sending branches, leaves, and henchmen alike flying on impact. I gulp and turn in the direction of the commotion, and despite the fact that I'm crossing my fingers as hard as I possibly can, it's exactly who I feared it'll be. Miss Dynamo.
You lilac losers didn't seriously think you were hiding in here, did you? That's almost sad. But not quite as sad as you idiots thinking that beacon you activated was the real deal. I bet you actually thought I was gonna walk in here blind, didn't you? Too bad for you. My friend's a lot smarter than that. Of course, even if you have her fake beacon, that still means the real Shining Nova is somewhere around here. So that being the case, I'm gonna grab one of these trees and start playing home run derby with you assholes until one of you tells me where Shining Nova is. And I ain't gonna regret a second of it.
Oh, you'll know regret before the end. Despair, too.
Oh shit.
I promise you that.
Here you go, Sugar Mama. In a flash of red, Madam Scorpion shoots towards the surprised superhero, her path marked by a hail of charred leaves and branches as she cleaves her way through the undergrowth. Caught flat-footed, Miss Dynamo barely manages to turn, just in time to catch a horizontal swing right across her abdomen. Doesn't break skin or even the fabric of her uniform, but it does push her back.
Damn it!
Rather than trying to stop her momentum, Dynamo just alters her trajectory, flying upwards toward the treetops. Scorpion pursues without hesitation, bounding first to a tree trunk and then the branches above.
What? Hey! You used me as bait? Again?
If it's any consolation, it was my sincerest hope that this brute would land on someone else.
How's your face for a landing spot then?
You want to sit on it? What? Miss Dynamo's counterpunch leaves the tree Madam Scorpion was perched on in splinters. But the supervillain herself has already gracefully leaped to another one.
Ready to hit me? Oh, well, I wasn't intimidated before, but now I'm terrified. You're just so tough and strong. Whatever shall I do?
Sarcasm is not your strong suit, sweetheart.
Oh, can it, bitch Natrix. I ain't here for conversation. I'm here for my friend, and that means no messing around!
Another haymaker flies and another tree splits on contact. Yet Scorpion still avoids the blow, flipping to another branch, but this time she's immediately moves to counterattack.
Like you weren't messing around on Wednesday. Or the other night. You're deluding yourself, child.
The supervillain unleashes a flurry of slashes as she and Dynamo pass each other in the air. While the caped hero manages to avoid a few of them, just as many find their mark, sending her off course. Within a moment though, she adjusted and is back on the offensive.
Don't be so cocky. I let you get away last night. I have nothing to hold me back now.
Oh, poor naive Uenu. It's far too late for that.
Uenu?
But if it makes you feel
Is that her
better,
government name?
by all means, let it all out.
They're hard to follow now, a pair of blurs bouncing through the tree line and tearing it to pieces all around them. I think some of Scorpion's strikes are making contact, but the ones that Dynamo can't dodge or block, she tanks without trouble. She already pushed her around, but it seems like the sword can't actually cut her.
You think that's gonna rattle me? That you know my name? Don't be stupid.
As Scorpion leaps from her for another attack, Miss Dynamo spins around it, cape fluttering as the back of a fist careens towards Scorpion's skull. The supervillain raises her sword to block, but is still sent flying.
You don't need a freaking computer brain to put that one together, or to figure out that I don't care.
Scorpion twists in the air to land on her feet, but the force of the blow causes her to skid along the ground nonetheless, kicking up grass until she comes to a halt at the base of a particularly large tree.
Yeah, Nova told me about your power, and guess what? Predicting me won't do shit. I just have to hit you hard enough and fast enough that it won't matter if you see it coming. Like this!
Dynamo dives towards the ground like a missile, and Madam Scorpion barely has time to get out of the way before the earth shatters beneath the superhero, who immediately follows up with another blow. This time, Scorpion blocks it with the flat of her blade, skidding further back and leaving the two in a deadlock, testing each other's strength.
Still think you know me, huh?
But I do, Uenu. Intimately so. And my sword does too. With each swing, it learns more and more. Haven't you noticed? Each time we fight, I grow stronger.
Up until now, it had been Dynamo pushing Scorpion back, clearly the stronger of the pair. But with some effort, the supervillain manages to stop her retreat.
You said it yourself. You know of my powers, and strength isn't one of them. It's yours. I bled it from you.
What? You're stealing my powers?
Reverse engineering. And with just a few more cuts, I will drink the last drop of knowledge I need from your veins, and let the rest spill to the ground as the life leaves your eyes.
Okay.
Then I guess I'll just have to squash you here and now!
Suddenly, Dynamo presses forward with renewed vigor, as Scorpion falls to one knee under the pressure. In terms of raw physical ability, her reverse engineered powers can't quite match the original. When she's mobile, Scorpion's precognitive analytics can close the gap in a hurry, but locked up like this, she might actually be in trouble. On the other hand, the fact that they're grounded means that I might be able to do something about it. Until now, they've been moving too fast for me to interfere. But not anymore. I take a deep breath. Okay, my best weapon is my fancy and new energy blade. But if even Scorpion's sword can't pierce Dynamo's defenses, then is that the right play here? If not, what is? I have my baton too. That baton ain't gonna do shit. Dual wield, attack with the energy sword, fell a tree on her. I think felling a tree on her might help. No, a direct attack won't work no matter how many weapons I use. Even if she can't avoid me, I'll never be able to hit her hard enough to do anything. I need to get creative. If I cut that tree at the right angle, with some trepidation, I activate my uniform's energy blade and run towards a nearby tree. Positioning myself between it and the dueling superwoman, I wind up and take a swing. Hot damn, that went clean through. Now all that's left to do is to get out of the way, give it a little guiding shove, and for the cherry on top, Cornball.
Always wanted to do that.
Of course you did.
What the hell?
As the tree falls, Dynamo breaks the deadlock to turn her attention upward, and Madam Scorpion takes the opportunity to step out of harm's way. But Miss Dynamo doesn't bother. Instead, she decides to simply catch the tree where it falls, with one freaking hand. Oh, of course.
Nice try, Sunshine, but you're gonna have to do better than that.
Au contraire. Now you're wide open.
Before Dynamo could rid herself of the tree, Scorpion rushes forward and unleashes a lightning-fast combination of cuts and slashes, all of which land flush. The tree falls to the ground in pieces, and the superhero skid backwards. She still doesn't have an open wound, but how much longer would that last? Apparently, that's no longer something that she's willing to risk.
Ugh, damn it! I don't have time for this!
In fact, this fight scene is going on a little too long if nothing's gonna damage this broad.
Next time, no amount of lackeys or stolen powers will be able to save you. Remember that.
She's gonna run away? Really? Sensing the retreat, Madam Scorpion leaps towards Miss Dynamo, but too late. The supervillain's blade slices through nothing but empty air, and the superhero rockets upwards, taking to the skies. For a moment, she just hovers up there before turning towards the mountain and racing toward it at speed. Damn, she found the lair right away. That can't be good.
And this is why we needed to confront her in an enclosed space. Nevertheless, that was cleverly done, Stanley. I appreciate the assistance.
Anytime, ma'am. Was it true what you said, by the way, about copying her powers?
Some of them. My sword has only finished analyzing the enhancements to her musculature so far. Enough to create a rough nanotech imitation. Though it is admittedly a bootleg version. But the biggest prize is yet to come. Just a few more direct hits and I'll be able to crack it.
I let out a low whistle and shake my head at the thought. She has to be talking about flight, right? Now this terrifying picture, a flying scorpion.
Damn, a sword that analyzes things as it cuts them. Never imagined something like that could exist. But I guess I've seen crazier shit before. Probably.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to marvel at my genius when this is over. For the moment, we have some catching up to do. Don't dawdle now.
That's the only warning she gives before darting into the forest, leaving me and the other henchmen behind.
What? Hey! You could at least... never mind.
With a resigned sigh, I set about rounding up the henchman contractors, those who are still conscious anyway. A superpower throwdown like that always has some collateral damage. Those poor trees. But soon enough, my ragtag battalion is on its feet and marching through the forest back in the direction of Lord Bedlam's lair, despite the fact that Lord Bedlam himself is nowhere to be found. What the hell is that guy up to? By the time we reach the entrance, Madam Scorpion is already inside, along with a huge smoldering slabs of steel that used to be the lair's front door, still red hot from where her blade bisected them.
You know I can't run as fast as you, right?
If you're expecting me to hold your hand, Stanley, then you have deeply misinterpreted our relationship.
Hey, come on. I'm not asking for a romantic afternoon hike or anything. Just a little consideration. Or maybe a ride.
You'd seriously want me to carry you?
I wouldn't say no. I can go piggyback. Whatever.
Stop talking,
I'm not
bro.
proud.
Speak for yourself. I will not be seen in such a state.
Ah, right. I guess you've got your brand to consider. What if I stuff myself in a really big handbag?
Stop
Could be a fashion
talking.
statement.
Or I could carry a piece of you in a normal one.
All right. Message received. Subject dropped. So, why'd you cut the door up anyway? Did it jam or something?
It was sealed and cut off from the power grid. Someone was trying to delay us.
Seriously? Who would have the balls to try and lock you out?
Bedlam.
That'd be me, you smart-mouth little shit! I've got the balls!
Really? I look up from the debris to find none other than Chef Antonio walking down the hallway. He's flanked by his kitchen staff, all wearing aprons and all wielding some kind of cooking implement in an attempt at menace.
But it ain't the lady we have any beef with. Oh no! It's you.
Knowing you, that beef's probably overcooked.
Overcooked? I've never overcooked a piece of beef in my life! You hear me? Never in my life! Whew. No, it's okay. I'm calm. I'm rational. I'm in control. Lost my cool a bit there. But who wouldn't? After having to grovel and play nice with you. Because you got a promotion? It makes me sick! I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, and I won't be able to until I beat the ever-loving piss out of here!
I gestured first to Antonio, then to the debris, then the scorpion, opening and closing my mouth as I try to find the words to make sense of this.
All right, okay. I have just a handful of questions. Just a handful. So you want to meet me at the playground during recess and have this out? Okay, fine. You seem like a guy who couldn't get past high school, so I get it. But like, why now?
Why now? Because I freaking hate you! And if I have to spend another day looking at your smug, snide little face as I smile and serve you food fit for a freaking king, my face will literally burst into flames! You snippy, loudmouth ingrate!
I'm loudmouth?
That's fair.
Yeah, you can't... Wait, it's what?
Your face can look a bit snide, Stanley, and your mouth does run rather loud.
Seriously? Whose side are you on? I mean, you made it pretty clear you're not ride or die about this, but come on. You can't fold that quickly.
Oh, I'm not on anyone's side in this little spat. Isn't that right, Mr. Giamatti?
Paul Giamatti? Is this his new role?
Exactly! This ain't got nothing to do with you, boss lady. I just really, really, really hate this son of a bitch.
Yes, you've made that abundantly clear. See, Stanley, I'm a neutral party.
To my dismay, this game is not finishing. And Madam Scorpion calmly crosses her arms, leans against a nearby wall, and shrugs.
If you're to be my liaison here, then I expect you to be able to handle disputes like these on your own. Doubly so if you have any interest in continuing our little arrangement. I admire your pragmatism, but do remember, I have no interest in cowards. It's like I said, if you want something, you have to fight for it.
I blinked dumbly, searching for any hint of sarcasm, but I come empty. I didn't think she meant that so literally.
And you're not at all worried about finding the superhero that's tearing through our base.
She can wait. If it took me days to master this labyrinth, then that lummox will be wandering around for a century before she finds anything. In the long run, seeing how you handle something like this is more valuable than the time we're losing. So please, do proceed.
The supervillain makes a shooing motion in my direction. Like an empress telling her gladiators to have at it. At the same time, she signals for my henchmen contractors to stand back, keeping it 1-on-1. I'm really about to fight the fucking chef. I sigh and pull my baton from my belt. Guess I don't have a choice, though if I'd known this was coming, I wouldn't have rushed back to the lair so quickly.
All right, let's do this, you overgrown sack of baloney.
Oh, it's way too late for flattery, you son of a bitch!
Flattery. Practically frothing at the mouth, Chef Antonio charges forward, warbling an unintelligible battle cry. I ready myself as a villainous chef lumbers forward, picking up steam like a truck that's lost its brakes. Only now do I realize just how big the man is. A lot bigger than me, that's for sure. And some of that is definitely muscle. So it's a sure bet that he's stronger too, and he's heading right for me.
Well, shit.
Counterattack. No, I can't lose my nerve. If I can wait for the right moment and counterattack, then I can end this fight right now. Bro, honestly, I would just take out the red swords and my forearm, my energy swords, whatever you want to call them. I'll just slice this dude up. Like, this is just Why are you wasting? Why are you engaging in this? Why are you wasting your time? As the enraged chef lowers his shoulder, I sink into a fighting stance and pull back my fist.
Come and get it, you son of a...
Not you trying to banter. Maybe if I were a faster, more skilled fighter, I could have pulled that strategy off, but I'm neither of those things. So instead I get sent flying by the mother of all shoulder tackles, flailing wildly the whole way. As I crash to the ground, my foe lets out a deep, maniacal laugh.
Well, ain't that precious? You really think you can take me, don't you? Come on, tough guy. Let's see what you got. Come.
Utterly unintimidated, Antonio beckons me forward as I struggle to my feet. It's hard to fault him for his confidence. If that's how hard he hits, how in the world am I going to take him
I
down?
used to be a big deal, you know. The creme de la creme. King of the freaking castle. Then those good-for-nothing inspectors came along with their health code violation and risked the public health and safety. Well, you know what I have to say to that?
Baloney?
Bullshit, that's what! Bullshit upon bullshit, a whole mountain of bullshit. But I knew the truth. They were bought and paid for. They had to be. It was those sniveling little weasels and Mama Mozzarellas. They put them up to it. And the funny thing, one of those health inspectors, he looked an awful lot like you.
Are you serious, bro?
Your family, ain't you? I bet you were in on it.
You know, I want to deny that, but if you came up with that whole theory in the first place, then I don't think I've got much hope of convincing you otherwise. So hey, if it makes you feel better...
It was me, Antonio. I'm the one behind it all. That health inspector, a clone from another dimension that I controlled with my mind. And Mama Mozzarella? Why, Mr. Giamatti. I am Mama Mozzarella.
I knew it! I knew it was you this whole time!
Well, at the very least, I can check convoluted identity reveal off the old bucket list before he reduces me into a chunky meat sauce. Man, what's wrong with me? Facts. Why am I still playing this? I can't help but antagonize this guy. I probably deserve this beating, but I can't afford it. Not now. I've got more important things to deal with, so somehow I've got to find a way to beat him. Bro, just take out the energy swords and slice him in half. To do that, I need to neutralize his strength, and then I need to hit him with everything I've got. I need to lock him in the hold, pummel him with strikes, do the same thing he did. I guess lock him in the hold. With his size and strength advantage, some kind of submission hold would probably work better than a strike, right? I mean, I don't really know many of those, but I can try.
It's just MMA, or CQC. One of those three-letter fighting things. Can't be that hard.
What was that, Pipsqueak?
I said you made one big mistake, Antonio. You want to know what it was?
Not really.
You started a duel with a master of henchman martial arts, and now you're gonna pay the price.
Bruh.
With a twirl, I stole my baton on my belt and rushed forward, bobbing and weaving to throw him off. Oh, I could already picture this whole me, myself, and Irene thing where Jim Carrey was acting a fool when he was about to get a fight and then he just gets punched in the face.
Got you!
I struck like a cobra, reaching for one of Antonio's thick arms and trying to twist it behind his back. Trying being the operative word.
Come on! Do you submit yet?
I receive my answer in the form of a punch, which sends me flying across the room. Oh my gosh, Stan. I skid across the hallway and hear an audible cringe from the gathered crowd, really making a good first impression as a manager.
That's really all you got, huh? I'd barely call that a side dish. More like a garnish.
Can I please slice him in half? Damn it all. I didn't want to come to this, but if that's how he's gonna be. I reached towards the switch in my right arm. Thank God.
That was just a light little appetizer. But if you're ready for the main course...
As Antonio reaches down towards my throat, I activated my energy blade and swipe at his arms, intentionally leaving it short so the tip of the blade just grazes his wrist.
Oh, what kind of knife is that?
Despite my restraint, his hand still recoils in pain, and I spring into action, scrambling along the floor to get behind my foe, and I once again swipe at one of his limbs. This time, my target is his right ankle. With a cry of pain, the chef starts to fall, but even before he reaches his knees, I'm upon him, jabbing into his neck with my baton and activating its shock function. There we go.
You little shit! This a bunch of below.
And for the record, all your food really was the same. It all tasted like shit. Now I'm kinda hungry though, not gonna lie.
I exhale in relief as the brutish chef finally stays down. Apparently, at least one member of our audience approves based on the slow clapping that follows.
My. What an amusing little performance.
If you say so.
A bit sloppy at times, but it didn't fail to entertain.
So is that the thumbs up from the Emperor's box then? Or...
Emperor's box.
Oh, no need to stain the floors. I think he's learned his place. I just hope he's not the only one.
She glances in the direction of Chef Antonia's kitchen staff, who are still brandishing their weapons. They look at one another and then at their fallen leader, hesitating. Yet before they can decide whether to stand their ground or surrender, the decision is made for them. Suddenly, James, the gate supervisor, charges into view. He's still wearing his microphone, so his voice echoes out of the guard's post speakers, and a broken pair of handcuffs dangling from his wrists. Guess that's how they got control of the gate, but now they're gonna pay for it. Wearily, I wave the Henchman contractors forward and they join James in the beatdown.
I told you all. One day, it'll be the gate supervisor's day to shine.
I turn to Madam Scorpion and shrug.
He did say that.
Offering a shrug of her own, Scorpion removes her hand from her sword, and marches down the hallway, skirting past the remains of the melee as the last of the kitchen staff is restrained or surrenders. I follow right beside her, staying close as we scoop by the chaos and glancing over my shoulder as it once were past. Y'all cannot read. But as the sounds of scuffling henchmen fade into the distance, I can't help but shoot the supervillain a wry glance.
See? Look how easy things can be with a little teamwork.
Is that whining I hear? Don't be such a spoil sport. I was doing you a favor by staying out of that little spat. Didn't it feel good? Bringing an old foe so low with your own two hands? It wouldn't have been nearly as satisfying if I'd done it for you. Granted, your methods were a little unrefined, but this is only the beginning. Once you learn to fully grasp your killer instinct, you'll know that feeling every day.
I'll take your word for it.
I would hope so.
With that, we fall silent and continue to delve deeper into the lair in search of the intruding superhero. Somehow I don't think she'll be hard to
It
find.
didn't sound like it was nearby, and I doubt she found the other entrances. Only other place that could be is the main hall. Probably forced the hangar door open.
So it seems. I have her on the security system. She's throwing another temper tantrum. Typical.
With Miss Dynamo located, we change course and pick up the pace. Now that she's inside the lair, there'll be nowhere to run, for us or her. One way or another, this rivalry is getting settled. I just hope I don't get caught in a crossfire. The carnage is apparent even before we enter the main hall. The entrance is particularly collapsed and several injured henchmen limp frantically in our direction, only to pale when they see who's coming. But neither I nor Madam Scorpion stop to listen to their excuses. We're far too focused on the only person in the room who isn't hurt at all.
This doesn't have to be hard, you know. In fact, I'll make it real simple for all you magenta morons. One of you can take me to Shining Nova, or I can bring this whole goddamn mountain down on your heads. A or B?
She could do it too. The hangar doors at the top of the chamber weren't just pried open, they were ripped off entirely. The place looks like a war zone with small craters and a bit of rubble littering the floor. And that's to say nothing for the piles of unconscious henchmen, though she had the courtesy to at least set them safely in the chamber's far corner. Yet despite all this, Madam Scorpion strolls right towards the superheroes as she hasn't cared in the world.
I'd really rather this mountain stayed intact, if you don't mind. I just finished redecorating my office, and the rug was terribly expensive. And since you haven't the slightest hope of finding your more capable partner, then I think a third option is in order.
I beat you senseless until you tell me where she is. You're right. That does sound better.
Was that really the best barb you could muster? I just want to make sure you're satisfied with your choice of words. It won't be long until you utter your last.
Is this about to be another battle where they take forever and she can't kill Miss Dynamo or something?
You know, it's funny. You told me I'm the one who never keeps her promises, but you keep throwing out these big, scary threats without backing them up. You haven't even scratched me with that glow stick, and I'm supposed to be shaking in my cape? Give me a break. You're nothing but a paper tiger who knows how to accessorize. And today, I'm finally gonna rip you to shreds!
So once again, the two combatants charge at one another, fists flying and swords slicing faster than I can keep track of. A punch collides with the flat of Madam Scorpion's blade so hard that the ground cracks beneath her, even as she pushes it aside and counters with a wide sweeping cut.
8 more.
The blow is strong enough to throw Dynamo back, but she quickly recovers, getting to a halt before bursting forward once again.
Counting down the seconds until I knock your teeth out.
The cat's left until you die.
The second exchange is much like the first. Dynamo charges in, throws haymakers at lightning speed. Any one of those blows could be a knockout on contact, but none connect. Much like she did during Wednesday's operation, Madam Scorpion flows around the superhero strikes, dodging most and redirecting the rest of her sword. She never blocks head on, always using Dynamo's momentum against her. And even though she's technically in a retreat, it seems effortless, even more so than before. It's as if it's getting easier for her. 2 more slashes connect, still not breaking skin, and again Miss Dynamo is pushed back. This time she pauses before resuming the battle, nostrils flared in frustration, as she spits to the side.
Just 6 left. Is it sinking in yet?
That you never shut up? Yeah, I figured that out a while ago.
That it's over, and there's nothing you can do about it. Don't you see? I've already collected all the data I need on your movements. You can't so much as blink without me predicting it. Oh, it is dawning on you, isn't it? Yes, there it is. That first glimmer of realization. You'll die. Shining Nova will remain my captive, and best of all, she'll finally realize what a miserable failure you are.
Keep her name out of your goddamn mouth!
Their next exchange is faster. Dynamo's anger has made her attacks even wilder, and it's not long before Scorpion is able to deliver 3 quick, bludgeoning counter strikes. This time, Dynamo willingly flies back almost to the other end of the room. That's not just out of frustration, as she's finally starting to believe what Scorpion is saying.
And now you're down to 3.
The supervillain calmly adjusts one of the dials on the hilts of her sword, and the blade pulses in response. Briefly, it flares outward like it's been set ablaze, and when it calms, it glows with new intensity.
Maybe 2 if I strike you flush. Ah, but that would be needlessly cruel, wouldn't it? Telling you that you had 3 cuts left, and then killing you before you're prepared. But you won't be ready no matter what, will you? No, I can see it. You're not willing to die. I did warn you, though, didn't I? I said you'd no regret.
Momentarily, it looks as though Dynamo's anger recalks into another frontal assault, but she stops herself.
You're not bluffing. Then you're the one who should regret telling me. Because now that stupid little toy is never gonna touch me again.
At that, Miss Dynamo takes to the air, but she's not headed for the exit. Instead, she starts flying laps around the room, circling her foe at top speed. I hurriedly step backwards, and a good thing, because right about then is when the superhero starts grabbing whatever random debris she can find and hurling it at Madam Scorpion at deadly velocity. This is new and apparently not just for me. While Scorpion is able to dodge and slice and makeshift projectiles, her movements lack the effortless grace she had before. In fact, she's completely pinned down. How long would it take her to get used to this new tactic? I can't say for sure. But if ever there was a time to help, this is it. Oh, Stanley. I creep along the edge of the room, praying that I avoid Miss Dynamo's attention. There's no way I can attack her normally when she's moving that fast, but maybe there's something I can use. Bro, this is just the same shit as the fight from earlier. She's moving that fast, but maybe there's something I could use to stage the Bellum Copter. My eyes fall on one of the remaining Bellum Copters. Screw it, I'm going all in. I'm glancing over my shoulder, checking to see that Miss Dynamo is still occupied, and then break out into a run towards the vehicle.
Please don't notice.
Luckily she doesn't, and while my heart is hammering, I arrive at the Bellum Copter's side door, no worse for wear. Okay, made it. Now I just need to find a way in.
Maybe.
I'll make one. Okay, step 1, hold hand away from my face and turn on my crazy new energy sword. Check. Step 2, start cutting, I guess. Without ceremony, certainly without any grace, I jammed the sword into the door and started carving out an entrance. It doesn't take long. Jesus, this thing's kind of scary. I stepped to the side and let the door fall to the ground before quickly hopping aboard. Okay, first things first, let's open the ramp, and so I have an easy exit, and then I'll just head to the cockpit. Months. Moments later, I plopped down in the pilot's chair, surveying the controls. Luckily, the whole console is covered in sticky notes saying what each button does. I did mention we don't train our pilots, right? Even so, I look out through the windshield to take stock of the situation. Dynamo still has Madam Scorpion pinned down, and she's moving so fast. Still, if you throw enough of something or big enough something at her, she'll have to at least make an effort to avoid it, right? I'm not looking to take her out, just distract her. One of those sticky notes says machine gun, is that right? We had those this whole time? If it is, maybe that'll work. Or I could try flying the whole damn thing at her. That might do it. I feel like he's gonna screw it up, but ramming speed. Wait, come to think of it, I don't think this actually has guns. Even if it did, Miss Dynamo's bulletproof, isn't she? You know, my best bet is to hit her at full force.
Now, how the hell do I fly this thing? Main rotors? That sounds promising.
Sounds like that worked. Now just rotate this baby in her general direction. I ease on the joystick and the Bedlam Copter lurches around, hovering in place as it slowly turns towards the battlefield. As it moves into position, I glance over my shoulder. Can I just turn on the throttle and bail? Will I have enough time? I gulp. Too late to second guess now. I'll just have to find out in real time.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
I slam the throttle up to maximum acceleration and then scramble out of the cockpit. Heart pounding as I struggle to keep my balance. With a last surge of energy, I dive out of the on-ramp. I let out a grunt of pain as my shoulder hits the ground, but I still manage to turn into an awkward roll, coming to a stop just in time to see the results of my handiwork.
What the hell?
That's the same thing she said earlier too. Caught off guard, the superhero seems to freeze, and for a second I think I got her, but it's not to be. Although it's too late for her to dodge completely, she gets most of the way there and then sends the copter off course with thunderous forearm.
Are you nuts? Shit, Sunshine, what the hell's gotten into you? You could've...
Forgetting about someone? I'm hurt.
Caught completely off guard, superhero turns around just in time to see Madam Scorpion hurling towards her, sword singing. The supervillain unleashes a series of slashing strikes, and Miss Dynamo is sent hurling across the room. Even now, I see no signs that the sword has gotten through the superhero skin, but I counted 3 red flashes. What's the point if we're not gonna hurt her?
Excellent distraction, Stanley. But I'll take it from here. That was the last bit of data I needed.
I'm sure it was. Once again, the supervillain carefully adjusts the dials on her sword hilt, and after a moment, the blade thrums menacingly, pulsing with a violent energy.
At last, the correct frequency. I've waited too long for this.
So the sword turns Super Saiyan or something, or?
And now, with this final stroke, your struggle will end. Fight it if you must, but your defeat is already decided. You take heart. It will be a beautiful death. I assure you of that.
Miss Dynamo touches down next to a bedlam copter, and I can see her hesitation. Her fists are clenched so hard they're shaking, and she's snarling like a cornered animal. I gulp and start to back away.
Defeat? You've gotta be kidding. You've completely lost your mind.
Enraged, the superhero latches both arms onto the nose of the copter, the metal crunching as she tightens her grip. At first, I think she's just about to rip off a piece of it, but then she lifts the entire thing.
I won't lose. Not this time. I won't!
The scariest part isn't that she's suddenly raising a multi-ton vehicle over her head like a beach ball, it's that with all her anger and adrenaline, she's making it look so easy. Frantically, I try to scramble for cover.
I won't lose to you!
Oh, she cut right through it.
Now go splat, you damned insect!
With a furious roar, she actually throws it, and now an entire asteroid's worth of steel is soaring straight for Madam Scorpion.
Don't just stand there! Get out of the way! Scorpion!
But my warning goes ignored.
Yes, that's it. Beautiful. Hold nothing back.
And then, against all reason or instinct, Madam Scorpion leaps not away, but towards the copter and cuts right through it. It's not enough to shred the vehicle to bits, but it is enough for the supervillain to tear her way through it, like a cutting laser boring its way through a sheet of metal. Even as she slices it apart, she uses debris as stepping stones, leaping ever closer to the woman on the other side.
Now, at last.
As Madam Scorpion bursts forth from the other side of the copter, Miss Dynamo raises her fist and flies forward to meet her, hero and villain colliding in one final clash.
No despair!
Is that her catchphrase? It's too much brightness.
And succumb.
The wreckage collapses, the red blade flashes, and a strip of sharp blue cloth flutters to the ground. A piece of the hero's cape, the villain has finally gotten through. Miss Dynamo gasps and falls to one knee. A hand clutches at a wound across her gut, trembling. Has she ever been hurt like this before?
But how? My skin. It can't.
Madam Scorpion stands tall, unblemished and unfazed, examining her sword as if she were checking her nails.
Your skin. Oh, you poor thing. All this time, did you think it was your skin that stopped bullets? Haven't you noticed? Your uniform doesn't tear. It was never your skin. It's your bioelectric field. And after 76 strikes, my sword finally found the right frequency to cut right through it, as if it's hardly there at all. Better still, Now I can imitate it. I've been using this cumbersome electromagnetic knockoff, but it's just not the same. I need yours. Don't worry. I'll put it to better use than you ever could.
Get real. Even if you could, Nova won't let you.
Funny you should mention her. You see, I have this theory. I think she knew about your powers too. I wonder why she wouldn't tell you. Paranoia? Or did she simply believe you weren't good enough? Well, considering this failure of a rescue operation, perhaps she was right.
Shut up! I haven't failed. Not yet. This isn't over!
She flies away and then she comes back eventually, get her cheeks clapped, and then it's the same thing all over again. With one final burst of energy, Miss Dynamo soars once again, but not towards Madam Scorpion. Instead, she spirals up towards the hole where the hangar doors used to be, unable to fly in a straight line. A momentary swerve nearly takes her into the ceiling instead, but she adjusts and continues to float upward, past the cave and into the blue sky above. For a moment, I lose her in the sun, and when I find her again, she's falling, a black speck with a fluttering cape, tumbling towards the force below. Oh wow. Madam Scorpion deactivates her sword and clicks her tongue. She made no move to stop the escape, content to watch us alongside me.
Right over to me. Wouldn't you agree, Stanley?
Yeah, sure does. Dude, do you think she's...
Dead? Not yet. Not that it matters to me. I'm satisfied either way. Even if help reaches her in time, she won't live another second outside of my shadow, knowing that I can finish the job anytime I want. In some ways, that's almost better than killing her.
Okay.
Now then, let's... What's this? Well, well. It looks like we have one more pest to take care of. Come along, Stanley.
Lord Bedlam?
Yes, ma'am. Right behind you.
I turn to follow but stop after a single step to look over my shoulder. Beams of sunlight shine down through the open hangar doors, glistening off of the remains of the sliced and shattered Bedlam copter. We won, didn't we? Then why do I feel so... No, forget it. I'm just too accustomed to losing these confrontations, that's all. I shake it off with an exhale and then turn to follow Madam Scorpion as she returns to the depths of the lair, leaving the sunlight far behind. I have to jog to catch up to Madam Scorpion, who makes no effort to wait for me as she enters the lair's labyrinthian hallways. She glances over her shoulder as I approach, but says nothing. Even after matching her pace, the silence hangs until realization at last hits me.
Hey, where's Lord Bedlam? When you mentioned that we had to deal with another pest, you didn't mean...
Possibly. Though I can't say for certain. We'll find out when we reach my regional uplink. Someone's trying to access it.
I grunt in acknowledgement before falling silent once more. Are we really gonna have to face down Lord Bedlam too? Man, I expected today to have some carnage, but this...
It bothers you, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
That she could be dead. It bothers you.
I'll get over it.
I'll get over that. I had a feeling that would be part of the package when it came to our... What do you call it? Our arrangement? I know what I signed up for. And besides, it's part of the job, right? I mean, I always knew the stakes here. Guess I've just been on the losing end of these things for so long that I forgot about them. If that's what it takes to win, I can adapt.
Facts.
Good. Because that's exactly what it takes. There's a reason killer instinct and winning mentality are said in the same breath. Ambition always comes with casualties. I'm so glad we understand one another.
She smiles devilishly and offers me a wink before turning her eyes forward. I abruptly clear my throat and do the same. Talk about looks you'd kill for. But I can dream about that later. For now, we've still got one more job to do today. It's a long, lonely walk to the supercomputer room. The same walk I've made every Tuesday for years, from the main hall all the way to the research wing. Or more specifically, door 1385, my door. There's no ceremony or reverence for the moment when we arrive. Scorpion doesn't have the patience for it, and me? I guess I'm just not all that nervous anymore. It doesn't matter if it's Lord Bedlam, Shining Nova, or Dave, or anyone else behind that door. They're not stopping me. No one is. And no one does stop me because no one is there. At least not in the immediate vicinity. The only sign of movement comes from the foot of the supercomputer, where a lone henchman is scratching his head. Of course, it's Dave.
Gosh darn it. I'm sorry, sir. I just don't know what we're trying to... Oh, sir, you may want to finish putting that on mighty quick.
Yes, Dylan, I heard you the first 10 times. It's just a little tight.
Are you shitting me? My eyes widen with shock as none other than Shining Nova steps out from behind the supercomputer. When did she escape? How did she get her armor? Wait, no, Dave said sir, didn't he? And whoever's in that suit, they're not moving around like they're used to it. Each step feels clunky. That means no, it can't be, can it? Yes, it is.
Yes, excellent. At last, my glorious new raiment is... What? When did they get here? Why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry, sir. I was trying to, but...
No buts, Damien. Just go finish your task. I'll handle this. Yes, I'll handle this. I'll handle every ounce of this. Just like a true hero.
Lord Bedlam, please tell me that's not you in there. What on earth do you think you're doing?
The villain in hero clothing puffs out his armored chest and scrambles to strike an impressive pose, but all he manages to do is show us how clunkily he moves in that armor.
The only thing I can do, for you have left me no choice, you traitorous arachnid. You were scheming to replace me. Don't think I couldn't tell. And with him of all people, a mere henchman.
He points an accusing armored finger in my direction. Is that all this is? Jealousy? Because I clapped the cheeks and you didn't? Because she calls me up and she don't call you? You poor little simp.
Well, I won't stand for it. I won't be forced out of my own evil organization. Not again. After Transistor Shack, I swore I would never endure another humiliation. No, never again. I was the vice president of brand management, you know. I was supposed to be the president until those other treasonous VPs started scheming against me, just like you're doing now. But you're too late. You can't forsake me, for I have already forsaken you. No, more than that. I've forsaken everything. My stylish reputation, my name, and even villainy itself. I've tossed it all in the dumpster of justice and been born anew. Now behold, a new hero for a new age, soon to be hated and respected the world over. Behold the one, the only, Shining Bedlam!
He's really attached to that name.
Dorian, your support if you please.
Woo! You're the greatest, Shining Bedlam.
Yes, thank you. You're too kind.
Madam Scorpion and I exchange a look, both hoping that he's not serious, and yet knowing he must be. Shining Bedlam, what the hell is he thinking? I guess that answers the question about whether he actually had a cause all this time. Nope. Not a single real goal or ideology.
What? What?
Ideology behind anything he did. No one in none of those speeches made sense. I scoff. All this time, it was really just about him, wasn't it? Every time I got my ass kicked on one of his inane, bungled heists, it was all for vanity. There was never a real mission, never a real crusade. Fudge.
What?
Stupid, selfish son of a bitch.
On that, we agree. You handle the subordinate, I'll...
No, not this time. He's beneath you. And more than that, he's mine.
So he is. The stage is yours, Stanley. Put on a good show.
Without a word of argument or hint of hesitation, the supervillain steps back and gestures for me to proceed. I offer a firm nod in return and start marching forward, each step filled with purpose. I think I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy.
Ah, sending your minion first, are you? How like a villain, sacrificing her own pawn just to test the might of my shining justice.
The only thing that's being tested here is my patience. And again, you've been testing that for years.
Oh, well, you won't have to be patient for much longer, number 065, for your misdeeds shall soon receive their proper reward. And by reward, I mean a blast from my patented, unstoppable Bedlam Cannon!
Can I please just have a line where Stan says, "My name is not 065, my name is Stan"?
You mean Shining Nova's patented, whatever she calls it? Definitely not that, though. How the hell did you get it anyway? Don't tell me she gave it to you.
If you must know, we struck a mutually agreeable bargain. All I have to do is defeat you insubordinate ingrates, and the world will welcome you as their newest, greatest hero. Well, she didn't say that specifically, but I can read between the lines. And do you know what else is written there, number 065? I said, do you know what else is written there, number 065?
No, what else?
That you're fired!
I don't even bother to move as the blast of energy careens harmlessly to my left. He missed by such a wide margin that I could tell his aim was off long before he fired.
Ah, blasted newfangled contraption! She must have miscalibrated it.
As Bedlam struggles with the armor's wrist cannon, I hold out my right arm and activate my energy blade.
It's not miscalibrated. And for the record, I'm not replacing you. You're just outdated, shining Bedlam. The world's moved past people like you, whether they're villains or heroes. Here, I'll show you. How about some of this?
I dash to the right and race forward, blade at the ready. Bedlam tries to track me with the Nova suit, wrist cannon, firing madly, but it's still way off. The suit might boast of speed and reflexes, but you can't take advantage of it. With beams of energy whizzing by me, I close the gap and swing, years of pent-up frustration behind every blow.
God! Stop it! Stop! No fair! I'm not used to the controls!
Bedlam stumbles backwards, clutching the suit's damaged shoulder and nearly falling over in the process.
Enough of this! You're not worthy of my glamorous, glimmering justice! If that mutinous witch is going to use her underling to fight her battles, then I'll use mine. Forget that damnable machine, Donald! Get over here! Your hero requires your assistance!
But you said... I mean, right away, sir. I'm on it.
I offer Dave a casual wave as he trots over to his master's side.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Stan. You know, I don't like to think of myself as a violent person, but this is still gonna feel pretty gosh darn good.
I doubt that.
Ready my energy blade, completely at ease. Time to finish this. Crotch shot is crazy. Leaping attack, target the knees. I really want to hit him with the crotch. Why just end it? Let's sprinkle a little spice on this victory and make it a humiliation. Smirking at the thought, I rush forward and Dave runs to meet me, baton raised. Where it was until I cut it into.
Oh no.
Oof. My old supervisor goes down like a sack of bricks as my knee slams into his groin with my gaze snapped towards
If
Bedlam.
you think I'll go down so easily, then you're sadly mistaken.
This is just
Those
pathetic.
devious tactics will never get through mine.
And that's about when my energy blade slices through the protective plate between his legs, though while it does expose a hint of played cloth underneath, the damage is
Oh, thank
superficial.
God you missed. I mean, ha! You missed.
No, I didn't.
Quickly, I whip out my old telescoping baton activated shock function and jam it right into the new gap in Bedlam's armor. Oh no. Not the nuts. Immediately, Bedlam breaks into a spasm and collapses to the ground, where he flops around like a giant metal fish before finally passing out.
What do you know? It finally worked that time.
Defeated the world's newest superhero. Hardly. I excel and deactivate my weapon, giving my former boss one final look before turning away. Well, I guess that's that.
So Bedlam botched it, huh? Damn it, I tried to tell him to bring the suit to me instead of using it himself, but no.
Oh, great. Why does this feel like an RPG game where I'm like fighting multiple final bosses? First I fought the final boss, then I fought his minion, then I fought the final boss again, and now I'm actually fighting the final boss. I roll around just in time to see Shining Nova's armor rise from the ground like some kind of undead cyborg. What the hell is going on? Once it's upright, the suit cracks open, spits out the unconscious form of the villain formerly known as Lord Bedlam, and then immediately closes again.
Nova? How are you doing this? And where are you doing it from?
That's none of your concern. Though if this idiot had stuck to the plan we agreed to, I'd be right there blasting an energy beam up your ass, you lying sack of shit. I still can't believe you could look me in the eyes and lie to me like that. Breaks my heart, Stan. I mean, I knew you were lying, but it still hurt.
So you lied right back and struck a deal with Bedlam, huh? That's a little hypocritical.
You're in no position to pass judgment on anyone. Not after what you did to Dynamo. If I hadn't gone to her when I did, I don't care if Scorpion stole the sword. There's no excuse. It's unforgivable.
Whatever. Bro, you lied first.
Oh, so you're in the forest already. You must have escaped earlier than I thought.
Madam Scorpion strides over, one hand on the hilt of her sword. Facing Lord Bedlam alone was one thing, but if Nova's directly involved, then she's not about to take any chances.
But if you're that far away, then you won't have a strong enough signal to control this suit with any degree of precision. Now will you?
There you are. I was hoping you two were together. But no, you're right. I can't control it well enough to fight. But I can still make you pay for what you've done.
What's that beeping? Oh, shit!
The suit's going to self-destruct. Frantically, I try to scramble for cover.
No, you can't.
Like a bolt of black and red lightning, Scorpion bursts forward, slicing through the vacant armor in a whirlwind of blood-red slashes. She made mincemeat out of it. The beeping stops and the armor crumbles, falling to the ground in a dozen smoldering pieces.
No one on this earth can make me do anything.
You tell him, girl. Girl power. I let out a sigh of relief as Scorpion deactivates her sword and flips her hair over her shoulder. She acted as confident as she wants, but that felt awfully close.
I'd say the same thing, but my boss is standing right here, so it'd be a little awkward.
Scorpion smirks deviously as she slinks in my direction, drawing ever clearer as she speaks.
Your deference is appreciated, but you've earned the right to boast. You handled yourself well. That old fool never stood a chance. You may have faltered at times earlier in the day, but that was quite the finishing touch.
She's within arm's reach now and leaning closer still as her fingers lazily trace the emblem on my chest.
How did it feel?
Good. Real good, actually.
Well, get used to it.
She's a breath away, so close that we can feel each other's heat, but she stops. Her lips part, then twitch into a smirk, as if even she hasn't yet decided whether she's teasing me or not.
Because for us, this is just the beginning.
And for me, I hope it is the end. And then she presses her finger into my chest, steps back, biting her lip. I can't help but let out a little scoff as I grin back at her. She'll never stop harassing me like this, will she? Turning swiftly on her heel, Madam Scorpion saunters towards the exit, completely ignoring the prone, twitching form of Lord Bedlam as she steps past him.
See to it that this room is cleaned up, will you? Discreetly, if you please.
Yes, ma'am. You've got it.
As Madam Scorpion nears the exit, she stops to shoot me a smoldering look over her shoulder.
And Stanley, when you're done, come see me in my office.
To clap those cheeks.
Let me guess. Discreetly?
Oh no, not at all. I plan on being perfectly indiscreet.
She a screamer. With that, she departs and I shake my head, letting out a low whistle. That woman always knows how to make an exit. I can feel an extra spring in my step as I set about my work because I'm about to clap those cheeks later. It's been a long day and it's about to get even longer when I clap those cheeks. Maybe the longest day I ever had, but I don't feel exhausted because I'm about to clap those cheeks. Sure, there's some obvious motivation at play, like clapping cheeks, but this doesn't feel like the end of something, not even close. It's just like Scorpion said, for us, this is just the beginning. That is the end of the game. Please. I'm begging you. Oh my god. The door to Madam Scorpion's office was unlocked, but when I enter, I find it empty.
Hello? Scorpion? You in here?
I frown. That's weird. Did I take too long? After cleaning and securing the supercomputer chamber, I thought it would be a good idea to freshen up a bit. Apparently not. Didn't realize I had a deadline. Maybe she just stepped out for a second. I'll give her a few minutes. Shouldn't be hard to find something to occupy my attention in a swanky office like this. Feeling curious, I wander around the room, examining the supervillain's various trophies and knickknacks from a safe distance. Only when I reach a collection of expensive-looking liquor do I give pause.
Well, she did offer.
With a shrug, I pick a decanter and pour myself a glass. Why not? We had a big day today, didn't we? I take a sip.
Ah, the cognac. Excellent choice. That bottle's older than you are.
My boy drinking Hennessy. I feel you, B.
Is it you say daddy's home for me?
Madam Scorpion's sudden appearance surprises me enough, but as I turn around, I nearly spit out that obscenely expensive liquor entirely. In place of her usual attire, she's sporting an elegant black dress to get clapped in. Luckily, I managed to choke down the cognac before I embarrassed myself. This has to be the first time anyone's worn a dress around here, much less a dress like that. Sheesh. That was terrible. My voice is going away. It's okay, you can recover. I know. Thank you for telling me, Stan. Play it cool, Stan.
You're one to talk in that dress. And here I am without my Italian suit. I'm feeling a little underdressed.
Don't. We're not attending a gala. I'm wearing this for my own pleasure. I've had my fill of business attire.
Isn't that why you do most things, though? Not that I'm complaining. Your pleasure is my pleasure.
When it comes to my wardrobe, you mean?
Among other things.
She smiles and plays with a strand of her hair, absentmindedly, a habit of hers I've noticed.
Surely you speak of the great pleasure you take from being an insightful and effective business partner.
Throw in a few more adjectives for me while you're at it. Insightful, effective, what else?
Impertinent. Presumptuous.
See, I don't like those ones as much.
And what?
She slips away from the desk and takes a single step forward, brushing her hair back over her shoulder.
Are you going to do about it?
Ah, shit, that's the invitation right there, my guy. I scratched my chin as if deep in thought.
Well, first, I'm going to finish this ludicrously expensive drink.
And then I'm about to get in those guts. And I do, raising the glass to my lips and downing the rest in one go. I let out an exaggerated hiss of satisfaction as I step forward.
Then I'm going to set down this fancy glass very, very carefully, because I'm respectful.
I set the glass down carefully on the countertop, but as I start to pull my hand away, I stop.
You know, that's a bit too close to the edge. Let me just...
As I reach back towards the counter, there's a blur of movement, and suddenly the glass is cast upon the ground. I turn towards the golden-eyed culprit, standing right in front of me.
See what I mean? Impertinent.
She inches closer, and I chattingly click my tongue, pointing to the shards of broken glass.
That right there, that's a safety hazard.
So am I.
Oh my god, the foreplay is turning me on so much. This time I'm the one who moves closer.
Yeah, but I like that.
Oh, I know.
For a heartbeat, we just gaze at each other, and then this time we both move at once. Alrighty then. Clap, 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 clap. Issue 9. Whoa. 1 year later. Why? Hopefully this shit is short. Ugh. I yawn and stretch my arms out wide, letting my phone's alarm ring for a moment before finally putting a stop to it. And then promptly rolling back over and spreading out like a starfish. I always take a moment to appreciate this every morning since I moved this supersized bed into the game room and converted it into my new quarters. Oh, look at that. A bed I can spread out on, a room bigger than a shoebox. The perks of being a big henchman in the secret lair.
Okay, can't lie here all morning. Today's the day.
With a sudden burst of energy, I toss my sheets aside and roll out of bed. Clothes, where are my clothes? There we are at the table. Whistling as I walk, I snatch up my uniform so to put it back on. And when I get to my second glove, I hesitate and then set it aside, staring down at the table it was resting on. I run my uncovered hand across the polished metal
Maybe
surface.
I'll take you with me after all. We did have some fun adventures together, didn't we?
That was many months ago. That was part of the reason I moved in here. No one was really using it. I sigh. I'll decide later. For now, I need to focus on getting past that first hurdle. Really the only hurdle. Every other obstacle pales in comparison. So as I finish donning my uniform and making for the door, I banish the table and every other distraction from my mind. I sit at my desk, casually drumming my fingers on the surface. Well, it's not my desk technically, but it's effectively mine. This whole office is. Oh, look at you moving on up, Stan. 1 year later. Madam Scorpion only stops by once a month to get her cheeks clapped. So with permission, I set up shop in here. As the Scorpion group's liaison, it only seemed appropriate, though I'm sure personal reasons played a factor, like me clapping those cheeks religiously. The only caveat was that I keep it neat and tidy, just like the monthly reports I'm going over for the upteenth time. Which, of course, on days like today, mean that I need to have a cleaning crew on the standby. I frown as someone knocks on my door. Is she early? Not the first time. I stand up from my chair.
Come in.
And promptly plop back down as Dave enters.
Hey there, Stan. Do you have a minute?
Hey, Dave. Yeah, I have a little bit. Everything after 10:30 is taken, though, so whatever you need me for today, get it out now.
Nothing much. Just figured I'd stop by since, today's the day and everything. I was just gonna grab a second in the locker room, but then I remembered that this office has an executive bathroom. Must be nice.
That's an understatement. But did you just want to literally say hi, or was there something else?
Oh, sorry, I know you're super busy these days, so I won't take much of your time. But I just wanted to wish you good luck. It's gonna be weird. Things just won't be the same around here without you. I know I messed up last year, and I'm still real super sorry about that. But I want you to know that wherever you go, you're still a bedlamite in my book. And that makes you A-okay with me.
Thanks, Dave, but you really don't have to keep apologizing about that. Water under the bridge. I'm over it.
I know, but
Seriously, we're good. No more apologies. And that includes apologies for apologies. Got it?
Right. Got it. Well, anyway, that was it. So, yeah, good luck.
I offer a final thumbs up as Dave awkwardly shuffles out of the office. First Lord Bellum gets banished, and now this. His whole world is crumbling. Against all odds, that actually did boost my confidence, though. Bless his heart, even though I know some of that was more brown-nosing than anything. Yep. I'll take what I can get today. There's another knock on the door, though this time it opens without waiting for my permission. I sigh and pinch the bridge of my nose.
Dave, I swear, if you're back to give me another gift basket.
What's the occasion? A birthday?
I scramble to stand as Madam Scorpion saunters into the office, startled enough that I nearly knocked the chair over in the process.
Scorpion! I mean, man, you're here early.
For you, perhaps. But this worked far better from my schedule.
Hardly pay me any mind, the supervillain prowls about the room, taking it all in.
Spotless as always, Stanley.
For now, you mean.
The supervillain tilts her head back to leer at me over her shoulder. I go rigid. Before every visit, I wonder if I'll be immune to that look in her eyes. Yeah, every time.
Oh, are we skipping right to pleasure? Not that I'd mind, but it sounded like there was something you wanted to discuss.
No. Well, yes, there was something. To discuss, I mean. I was planning on bringing it up after the monthly report.
I reviewed that on the way here. No surprises, as usual. I have precious few of those these days.
She turns on her heel to face me fully, a single brow quirked in curiosity.
So this is a rare treat you're providing me, Stanley. I just hope it's something important this time. If I have to have another discussion about benefits, I swear.
No, the Scorpion Group has made its stance on that very clear. It's actually about me. Me specifically.
I take a deep breath and steel myself. Here goes nothing.
I need a promotion.
Oh.
Don't you mean you want a promotion?
No, I chose that word deliberately.
Okay, Stanley, that's what I'm talking about, my boy.
Awfully presumptuous of you, isn't it?
I don't think so. Henchman operations have been running smoothly with an exponential growth in the last year, and the lair's fully converted to its new rent-to-work structure. Day-to-day operations are basically automatic. There's no challenge anymore. It's boring. I need a change.
In responsibility or scenery?
Both.
Both, ma'am.
The supervillain frowns, dissecting me with her eyes. Probably not the kind of surprise she was hoping for.
And what else? Pray tell, do you need a change from?
Not what you're implying, for starters. Though, if I'm being honest, which you always said to be, as you recall, I do think we're a little imbalanced.
Huh?
You're out there running roughshod across the whole world, and I'm just here, all day, every day. Sure, I can go on gigs, but it's not really the same.
I do empathize with the scenery aspect. I admit, I always wondered how you didn't go mad living in this windowless husk of a fortress for so long.
She taps a fingernail against her lower lip, considering as she looks me up and down.
But if I hear correctly, what you're saying is that you've outgrown this place entirely. Is that it?
Yup, it's time for the bird to leave the nest.
That's an apt way to put it, yeah.
Looking at your results, I can't say you're incorrect. But surely you haven't forgotten your true purpose here. You are more than a manager, Stanley. You are a guardian. How would I replace you?
Well, there's always Dave.
Ha!
Is this your idea of an assassination attempt, Stanley? To force me to interact with that man until I have an aneurysm?
Ha!
Only joking. But seriously, I'm sure you have other loyal candidates you could transfer. I know it was important to have one of Lord Bedlam's henchmen take the reins this year, but after the transition...
I trail off as I study her body language. I'm not gonna convince her like this. Time to play the trump card.
Look, there's something I want to show you. Come with me.
As usual, the supercomputer room lies deserted and pristine. Coolant tanks, bubbling, computer humming, and our footsteps echoing off the stone walls. Once we stop in the center of the chamber, Madam Scorpion gives it a once-over and frowns.
What is it you're trying to show me, exactly? I do appreciate that the uplink is functional and well-maintained, but if you're going to take me all this way...
Wait for it.
Behold, behold.
No.
Behold the glorious glory of Lord Bedlam. Behold.
Stanley, what on earth is... Why would you explain?
That right there is a patented Bedlam bot. Say hi, Bedlam bot.
Behold the magnificent greeting of Lord Bedlam. Behold.
The vocabulary is a bit limited, but other than that, it's a fully functional, fully autonomous guardian, built just to protect this chamber. It's armed, armored, and connected directly to the room's security systems, so it'll automatically attack any unwanted intruders. Pretty cool, right?
Stanley, it's a robot. Do you know how many robots I've sliced into pieces? Why should this impress me?
Because it's not just any robot. Remember last year when Shining Nova took remote control of her suit and you sliced it up?
Of course I remember. Why? You didn't.
Oh, but I did. Not personally. I had a little black box team working on it. But you guessed it. This bad boy is reverse engineered from that destroyed suit of Nova's armor. And there's 29 more like him.
On cue, the remaining Bedlam bots emerge from a series of hidden doors scattered across the room, all standing at the ready.
With these at your disposal, I'd say whoever you choose as my replacement will be perfectly equipped to protect the uplink. So that said, how about that promotion?
My. I really am impressed, Stanley. You put a lot of effort into this, even to simply hide it from my sight. That team of yours must have been working entirely analog, is that right?
Yep, hand-drawn blueprints and soldering irons. And these babies are on an isolated network. They're linked only to each other and the room security system.
Well, that does make me curious. What are you planning to do if I say no?
Then I'll quit.
And if I didn't let you?
Then, hypothetically, I'd inform you that when we reverse engineered that armor to make these Bedlam bots, we included its self-destruct sequence.
In unison, all 30 Bedlam bots freeze in place and start to beep, just like Shining Nova's armor had in this very room 1 year ago. I'm sweating bullets now, yet I can't help but feel smug. My boy, Stanley. Ooh, I'm so proud of him.
Hypothetically.
For a long moment, Madam Scorpion just stares at me as the Bedlam bots continue to beep. I'm all in now. Either I just committed both career and literal suicide, or...
Oh, Stanley. Did you just threaten to blow us both up? For a promotion?
Only hypothetically.
At my behest, the Bedlam bots stop At my behest, the Bedlam bots stop beeping, and all but the one standing beside us return to their hidden chambers. As they leave, Scorpion strides forward.
You really have grown, haven't you? This is why you're my favorite.
She reaches out, seizes me by the collar.
You always know how to keep things exciting.
So do I get the promotion?
Yes, you fool. You get the promotion.
In answer, her lips part and she inches forward. I move to meet her, but she suddenly restrains herself at the last second.
Let's steal something together to celebrate. Something classic. But first...
This time, neither of us stop, nor do we hold back. Her passion catches me off guard. Only Madam Scorpion will get this fired up by the threat of a deadly explosion.
And second, I really need you to turn that off.
Behold, it is I, the endlessly vigilant Lord Bedlam. Behold.
Right. Sorry. Now, where were we?
Please tell me that's it. Please tell me that's it.
You weren't kidding. When you said something classic, you really meant it.
Madam Scorpion laughs, basking in the spoils of our celebration. Light dances off the diamonds, gold, and jewels that she's carelessly draped herself in. A waterfall of excess pooling at her feet. As her body shifts, some of the jewelry slips and falls, trickling down her clothing like rain, but she pays it no mind.
But doesn't it make you feel extravagant? All these little treasures just yours for the taking?
And you say I have expensive taste.
As I look down at the woman lounging in her would-be throne, it occurs to me I'm not paying much attention to the diamonds either.
But I admit, it scratched an itch. Nothing like a little casual villainy. Makes me feel like a gangster. You know, old school, with the hat and everything. Is that the vibe we're going for? Bonnie and Clyde?
Don't be ridiculous. Bonnie and Clyde were on the run until they died. We run from no one, not even each other, despite someone's best efforts.
You're not mad about that all of a sudden, are you? Come on, what's a bit of mutually assured destruction between lovers? Keeps things interesting, don't you think? After all, I can't have you getting sick of me just yet.
You're the one who threatened to quit, as I recall.
The job, not you. Figured, hey, why not have it both ways?
Now you're thinking like a supervillain. That's what it's all about.
As she gazes up at me with that wicked grin, I feel her hand start to pull me down to meet her.
People like you and I, we can have it all. And why shouldn't we? All we have to do is reach out and seize it.
And so she leans up and does just that. The end. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, not a bad game, but I just wanted to get it over with. I am so sorry to people that created this, but I need to skip this. Is there anything else? No? Alright, that's it. That is the end. Finally ended the game. So, yeah. Tune in for next time. Who knows what'll happen. Peace out. See ya.